Hi, this is Eric from longboxreview.com, back with another comic haul video. I went to Spokane recently, intending to go to the comic book shop up there to get my comics and look for some things. And along the way, we were driving around somewhere. I don't remember the street now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But we were just kind of driving not in the usual path that we take to go to the comic book shop. And this is a residential area, and I spotted a yard sale sign at an intersection, and the guy had on the sign comic books, specifically comic books and toys, and so we're driving by. I'm like, Kitter, my wife, goes, "Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we probably should," because who knows what you could find there, right? So we pull up and walk in, and this guy has all these comics out in his yard on these tables. He even actually has a magazine display set up. I'm trying to remember if it was wood or if it was actually like a metal one. Anyway, he had that on one side. He had a bunch of stuff on tables and a bunch of comic boxes on the tables. And so I start going through things. One of the things that I noticed is that he had a bunch of Disney comics just laying out on the table in the sun. In the sun, the guy obviously has an interesting collection, and he's got these comics out in the sun. I don't understand what that means. You know, why would you do that? Anyway, but so I'm looking at these comics. Mostly I'm looking at the stuff that's on these shelves here. And I find something. I'm like, my eye spots this. I'm like, I have to have that. I'll get to that in a minute. But so I bought a bunch of things there from this guy. It was just really cool. You know, like I said, the guy obviously had an interesting collection. A lot of stuff that I didn't care for. A lot of X-Men stuff. I'm trying to remember what else. Various things. I kind of wish I would have bought more now. But I was limited in my funds. I got this issue of Adventure Comics. This is 472, featuring Starman and Plastic Man, and this is one of the issues that I've been trying to get for my Adventure Comics run. So I thought, what the heck? I mean, it's not the best quality, but but these are readers' copies from some guy's collection. So now it's in mine. Also got this. I spotted this just flipping through things. See, that's what I love about going to something like that is that you find these things you weren't even looking for, and I had to get it because Robin is one of my favorite characters of all time, and here's this version of Robin from this annual from 1996 that I had no idea, had no knowledge of this character, this new Robin in this story. So I thought that was pretty neat. I did post on longboxreview.com a little blurb about this comic and how this has opened my eyes to finding more appearances of other characters who are called Robin. I've been mostly focused on trying to find, I shouldn't say focused. It's a desire of mine to go out and find all of the issues in which Dick Grayson appears as Robin and or Nightwing. That's a lot of comics. I looked it up because of this issue of this annual of Robin. I looked it up, and there are a ton. And then on top of that, all the other characters who have appeared as Robin. That's going to be a long time coming, and getting that completed. These next two actually aren't from the collection of this guy, but I'm gonna throw these in here real quick. So then we end up after I was done there. I end up going to the comic book shop on Division. If you're ever in the Spokane area, there you go. You should go there. And I found these adventures in the DC Universe and the Justice League Adventures issue, and I picked these up because they feature the animated series version, I guess, if you will, of the Legion of Superheroes. So 2 stories featuring those characters. I love those characters. I just bought these issues. Okay, back to that collection. In it was a Spawn #1, which I thought that was kind of neat to find Spawn #1. I have issues, I want to say 8 and 9 that I bought pretty much when they came out. I remember it's either 8 or 9 or 9 or 10. I don't remember. Anyway, they were the ones written by Neil Gaiman and Alan Moore. And I remember buying one of those off the shelf, and the other one I had to wait, and I ended up buying it from the place that I used to buy my comics down in Lewiston called Dr. Rocks. And he had that issue in the case, in the glass case, for way too much money for when I was buying comics back then. But I eventually did buy it. Mostly because I wanted to read, well, not so much that Spawn was hot, but I wanted to get those 2 issues in particular because of the writers. Neil Gaiman and Alan Moore were, comic gods to me then. They still are to some degree, but I wanted to read those issues of Spawn because of the writers, not because of the character, not because of the artist. But I found this Spawn issue, and the guy even sold it to me for half what he had on here. I don't know why. It's in pretty good condition too, and I looked it up. It's worth a few bucks, but not worth a few bucks. But I did get these for $1 a piece though. Were these PC and comics, and this issue from First Comics. And I remember seeing 2 of these, over the years. This being issue 1 of E-Man for $1. This is 1982. Joe Staton doing the art on this. Anyway, I remember seeing this and being somewhat interested, because the guy has E equals MC squared on his chest. I mean, who does that? Anyway, that was back, the early 80s. That was when, Kamiko and PC and First, you had all these independent comic publishers out there, and man, I miss those days. I wish we had more of that. And I know we have, we got Boom, we got IDW, Image, although I don't really think of them as, the small indie publisher anymore, right? Maybe they are. Maybe technically, I guess they are, but and who else am I? Dynamite, all and there's a ton of them, but I don't know. Just back in the 80s, it's like, ooh, you mean there's more than just Marvel and DC out there? It was awesome, an awesome time to discover these comics and these creators and these characters coming from these small publishers. And then from PC Comics, I'll show this one first. This is, wow, I should know who the artist. Yeah, Neil Adams, right? Yeah, Ms. Mystic. And I've seen that cover I don't know how many times, especially when you have articles where Neil Adams is being interviewed. They talk about this Ms. Mystic. I mean, that just looks cool. Look at the way that her costume fades from black down to gray as it goes down. That's pretty neat. That's a pretty neat idea. I like that idea. But he's Neil Adams, right? And then here's this. Cover's got a fold on it. I gotta fix that. This is, what's that say? Silver Star, a visual novel by Jack Kirby. It's Jack Kirby. I had to get it. This character, Silver Star. Meet Morgan Miller, Homo Geneticus. Never heard of the character before. Never heard of this comic, and yet here it is, #1, Jack Kirby, from 1982. Had to get it. These next 3 I only got because of the covers. They're Alex Ross covers. They're just issues of JSA. Here's Alan Scott, Green Lantern, Jay Garrick, Flash, and Our Man. Don't remember the guy's name, but it's the son or grandson. I don't remember. It's the next generation of Our Man. Really cool Alex Ross covers, and I got them because last time I was at Captain Comics, and I believe I've already talked about this before when I went there, but I didn't talk about these. There's these little sheets where you can put comics Yeah, you can put a comic into the sleeve if it'll fit here. See, I should have practiced this before I push the record button. So you stick it in there in the sleeve, and then you can hang it up on the wall. There's these little little puncture hole things. You can't really see this on the video, but where you can connect these in multiple sheets, so you can like have like a 3x9 wall hanging of covers, your comics, featuring your comics. So I thought I might try that. I might put these up on in my office somewhere on my wall, and then trade out various comics with really cool covers. And so I got those 3 issues specifically for this idea, not because I wanted them, because I already have these in this story in trades. I don't need to find these individual issues. So these are called Snap It Comic Book Display System from BCW, and you can see what I'm talking about there, the example on the flyer here. Okay, remember when I said earlier that when I got there at the guy and he had the books on this shelf here, and I saw one and I said, I have to get that. That's next. This is a comic that I remember when it came out, and my friend Greg, who's been on the podcast before, talking with me, one of my oldest friends and another comic book lover, he bought this mini series from Marvel, and I read it. I read his issues, and I enjoyed the story a bit. There's one character in particular from this series that has always been in the back of my mind for some reason, and I like the concept. And so I saw this and had to get the Contest of Champions. 1 through 3. When did this come out? It does not say. It was early 80s. I know that much. I'm pretty sure. Anyway. So it says here, featuring every single superhero on Earth in the greatest battle of all. So this predates, obviously, Secret War. Yeah. It was just really cool. I paid too much for it. I know I did. But because it ended up being like $5 a comic, I think it was. But you know what? I really wanted to get these issues, so I did. Here's number 2. Got Daredevil down there in the corner, which is never a bad thing for me. And then finally, issue number 3, and you've got Death. And this there should be like I'm sure somebody's done this, CBR or Newsarama or somebody's done this, where you take all these covers where certain characters show up all the time, or the cover composition is very similar. So I've seen covers like this before where characters just kind of floating as if they're dead on the cover. I don't know. Anyway, but the character, and I was hoping that she would be on. Oh, there she is, right there. See that little green splotch there, right above Death's head. That's I don't remember her name now. I think her name is Shamrock. I want to say, but she's the Ireland superhero, and her superpower is luck. I don't remember much beyond that, but I remember being very entertained by that idea. I'm easily entertained, obviously. Anyway, so those are the comics that I got at a recent visit to Spokane. And lucked out and found this yard sale. I loved it. I wish more people would put, comics on their yard sale signs around. That doesn't happen very often. I've never actually been to or found a yard sale where they've sold comics, or if they do, they announce it, in the paper or whatever under books. They have books. That doesn't help me. Anyway, so I guess the moral of the story is you never know what you're going to find. You just got to keep your eyes open. Keep dreaming. Keep hoping. All right. It's getting too silly even for me. If you want to make comments about this, Do you have these issues, these same issues? What do what do you think of Contest of Champions? What kind of goofy fun is that, right? Can't wait to read that again after, gosh, how many years ago is that? That's 30-something years. Anyway, you can email me at longboxreview@gmail.com, or you can leave comments below wherever this is being posted, YouTube or on my website, longboxreview.com. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.